Shitty wizard is while you're going about your day. He asks you some questions and won't let you run away. Would you rather have a finger growing out of your cheek or have skin on the bottom of your feet? Would you rather have laser vision or turn invisible? Now make a decision. Shitty wizard flying through the air. Shitty wizard magic everywhere. Shitty wizard you just can't compare. Shitty wizard learning to care.
Episode of Streamy Dreams. I'm one of your hosts, Laurel, and I brought leftover spaghetti for lunch.
Me too!
Wait, really?
What a coincidence!
I never make spaghetti. How did this happen?
Okay, I didn't make the spaghetti, I bought it, but still.
Leftover purchased spaghetti.
Are we in the Twilight Zone
Adam,
right
you
now?
better fucking have spaghetti for lunch or you're out of this cult.
Alright, well, I'll see you guys later. Welcome to Sketty Dreams.
Anyway, I'm your other host, Caitlin, and I'm joined by the ever shitty
The
Adam.
spaghetti-less Adam.
The spaghetti-less, the shittiest of
The
us all.
lack lasagna. Adam.
Also, shout out to the fucking neighbors that we have at this office who are just fucking stomping around above us back and forth while I wonder if you guys heard that while the intro was playing.
I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just gotta have a good stomp, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get stampy.
You just get stampy. Alright, so Laurel, do we have a thrilling conclusion?
We have a conclusion.
Because I promised people a thrilling conclusion.
I mean, to each their own. Whoever gets thrilled, good on ya. But there is a conclusion. Although, yeah, there is a conclusion. I realized that as far as like what people vote for, in this scenario, I've kind of reworked it so that we can kind of quickly go over both options, just so that everyone who picks whatever way can get a resolution of sorts. But
Right. Well, I mean, like in the Discord, the vote was pretty close. So I think
not really.
it wasn't.
Well, because only the one imp is supposed to count. The other one was a
Right,
bogey.
I think-
Because if you look at the names, some of them double up too.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
not 9 to 8. It's like 9 to 5.
Right. No, there's two imps. I think people just got confused with the imps.
No, but I'm saying between the two imps, some of the names are the same.
Oh,
it's like one person
okay.
Plug
Okay.
in both imps.
Well, I think we're gonna have to go with putting Grandma down and joining forces with the.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
which
that's
is
the
good.
clear
I
winner.
meant for like the conclusion to the choices you pick in the finale. Like I'm gonna
Right.
go all like it ends today. We're not gonna come back next week and be
But-
like, by the way, if you chose this one, here's your ending.
But
Right.
you've written an ending for both paths.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Fucking Mass Effect up in here. Look at this shit.
Yeah, I wrote down more of the dialogue this time, but it's actually less complicated. It's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to get into it. Okay. I'm ready. Set the tone.
Set the tone. Immediately knock your jacket off your chair.
Actually, it made a really good sound.
It did.
Cut that out.
Cut
Edit
it.
that out.
I can't edit.
Edit that out.
What do you think this is?
A podcast. What?
Anyway.
Okay. So you've got that voice in your head who's telling you, like, fucking own your grandma, make her your slave. And just as you're about to speak out the last words of the incantation, you manage to gather up enough of your will to be like, no! And you break free and you just jam your hand into your grandma's face, ripping out her teeth from her gooey maw. And being like, I'm sorry, Grandma! And she collapses to the ground. Okay. And then the keeper, who's just been in like a little fight with her, rises to his feet and just pats you on the shoulder as you peer down at your grandma's crumpled remains. Being like, fuck.
Do we have to have another funeral
Looks
for
you
Grandma?
dead in the eye and says, I'm calling the police.
Nah, he's like, don't worry, we'll clean it up later. Come over here.
Put her back in the hole.
Yeah, you just kind of slough her back into the pit, and he's like,
Just the
this
two
is my
of you?
job. Don't worry about it.
Just the two of you are like slowly shimmying her corpse with your feet back into the hole.
With her mouth all agape from her lack of teeth now, and you're just like, sorry, Grandma. No, you don't actually shove her back in the hole. You just leave her where she lies.
Oh.
He's like, well, I'll clean up. Like, this is my job. Like, don't worry about it.
Right. Okay.
You're not here
Love
to do
to
my
desecrate a corpse.
He is the graveyard keeper. This is.
What do you think they do? They don't desecrate corpses on the reg.
No, but if somebody does, they clean it up.
Just gonna leave it out for the coyotes. It's fine. They'll
Like,
take
it's
care of it.
it's his job to make sure that he tidies up after bad things happen.
Like people digging up their grandma.
Like, if somebody barfs on someone's grave, he's gonna come and he's gonna clean the tombstone.
I like the idea of this guy seeing this dead woman rise from her grave, and he just goes, "That's a Monday for you."
Look, this is the grandma graveyard. He knows secrets about this graveyard.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe this is just a regular Monday.
Right.
Which we're about to get into right now.
Yes, tell us your secrets, gravekeeper.
So this way, he says, not far from old crumply grandma, he sets you down on a beach covered in latticework and ivy for mood. He's setting the mood.
What is it? A bench?
Yeah,
Or
just
beach?
a bench.
Okay.
With
I thought you said a
lattice
beach.
and ivy and shit, and it's all like, woo-hoo. So he just gets right into it. He's like, look, this is clearly no ordinary graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
This. Wait. Keep it together, Adam.
This is no ordinary grandma.
This ain't your grandma's grandma.
This ain't your grandma's graveyard. I mean, technically it is.
Yeah,
but...
it is actually
But
your
you know
grandma's
what I
graveyard,
mean.
But it is the coven, it is the order of the grandmothers. Okay, so he basically lays down the beats here, which is, like, so you noticed when you first entered the graveyard, if you remember back from the previous episode, that you constantly felt like there were eyes on you, like there was people looking around.
Mm-hmm. We forgot to do it previously on. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I wouldn't say forgot, because we never did one. We never established it as a trend. Getting comfy, Adam?
Yeah.
Story time for Adam.
I'm lying on the couch that I normally sit on because I want to be spun a yarn.
Okay, we'll stop interrupting you.
Right, so he's
Go on.
like, the grandmothers who have entered this cult in this order are mediums between the world of magic and the world of basically born old non-magic.
Gotcha.
And when they die and are buried in the graveyard, they get reincarnated as crows. And you can see them kind of hovering around in the trees. And they're kind of like the watchmen of all things magic, which is why your grandmother accepted the teeth in the first place, which was to guard them against fucking Phil. Who is
Phil.
definitely an evil wizard.
What?
You thought he wanted those teeth to be the funniest man in West Virginia? No.
We're in West Virginia? Okay.
No, he just wanted to be funny in West Virginia. That's where he was going.
He was entering a comedy festival in West
That's
Virginia.
Really, really aiming high, I can see.
You gotta start. Everyone's gotta start somewhere.
It's true. It's true.
But the dentures are actually brain eater dentures. So what would happen is, like, as he spins his yarn, it's basically like hypnotism. And what it does is you get a little bit of spirit teeth in your brain. And they slowly nibble away at your consciousness until you become an empty husk and become essentially slave. Which is to say, turning everyone into internet trolls. Which would then
That was
spread. So, like, he is slowly basically mind controlling them.
Right.
And then they would spread, like, his good word, and it just kind of, like...
That's right, because
Like
he's
a
he's an
disease.
alt-right comedian.
Because he's an alright comic.
He's really into John Peterson.
His name is Phil Patterson. No, basically it's like, he's gonna, like, mind control to take over the world.
Okay.
Okay.
He's that kind of
So
villain.
Phil's a dark wizard.
He's a
Man.
dark wizard.
Talk about going to a party going wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, a dark wizard party's gotta be a hoot.
Right? There weren't even any goblins there.
Who
No.
said that? You were too drunk to remember.
Yeah, it
This
was-
party was off the hook! Which is why why you got so drunk in the first place. You only had one drink.
Right, because he spiked my drink. Fucking Phil,
Fucking
Jesus.
Phil spiked your drink. He would,
He
wouldn't he?
would. He would spike. Like,
Yeah,
you
he's-
leave it unattended for 2 fucking minutes while you go line
You
up
should
in
have
the
gotten that
bathroom.
fancy nail polish. It's funny because when I first wrote this, Phil was not the bad guy. I had to retrofit it because you guys hated on him so hard in part 1.
We made our own villain.
So we got kind of like the generic villain workover, which is fine.
Okay,
Where were we?
so now we're all wrapped up in some dark wizard shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right. So as he's kind of like, you know, going over the details, you're sort of zoning out, and you look over at Grandma, who's now got a crow rested on her crimply corpse, just looking at you disappointedly.
Oh no, she doesn't like that
Shaking
you
her crow head.
desecrated
She's
her
like-
corpse.
She's like, I made you spaghetti, and this is how you, treat me.
But wouldn't she be happy that she's now free?
Yeah, but you know, grandmas.
They're always disappointed.
But like, is
in
she
you.
also disappointed because you dug up her corpse, which was protecting these evil dentures, which was supposed to
You-
go
oh,
to the
whoa.
grave with
Yeah.
her?
You didn't dig shit up. You went to go do it, and that motherfucker came out of that grave
She
on
knew.
her own.
She knew. She was a crow at the time. She
Shit.
sees that shovel, man. What are you bringing a shovel to a graveyard at
Shit.
3 a.m. for?
If she
She
did
can
that,
infer quite. She's
But
an old woman. She is wise.
if
She
she-
knows what it means when someone comes to a graveyard
No.
with a shovel.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm digging into this plot hole. That doesn't make any sense.
What? This is 1,000% not a plot hole. If I saw someone in a graveyard at 3 a.m. with a shovel, I'm like, oh, they're digging up a body.
So
No,
wait.
the plot hole is that why would she come back from the grave
Oh, no. You do plant the shovel in the ground.
only to become your slave?
No. Her body was taken over by the teeth.
Right.
Grandma's in the crow.
So if you hadn't gone to the graveyard to dig her up, would her reanimated corpse still have dug its way out of the grave?
No.
It wouldn't have?
No, she's reacting to you and your intent.
So is she reacting to you, or are the teeth reacting
The
to you?
teeth.
All right, so then that wasn't really your grandma. It was your
No, it's just
grandmother's corpse.
Yeah, it's
So
just her
the-
body.
so the
She's
teeth-
in the crow.
The teeth could taste freedom and want it out.
It's kind of one of those, like, the closer you get to it, the more it gets in your head, and it's just like, come and
Right.
get me.
Yeah.
You were also, like, slightly influenced by Phil, who is, like, a dark wizard.
Right.
He's
so
like,
you
get
think?
my teeth.
So-
Yeah. Phil's pulling the strings.
All right.
He was actually the one who made you pick that answer from the beginning.
Fucking Phil.
You could have just done his comedy act and it would have done nothing because you didn't have
I
to.
said I would.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was my choice.
Which, by the way, would have been a totally different story. Like, these aren't two options in the same universe. If you had picked the other answer, like, all of a sudden there's no Coven. It doesn't exist.
Phil the Dark Wizard doesn't exist. It's Phil, the funniest man in West Virginia.
Yeah. Right, so he's, like, kind of spinning his game. He's like, you're a wizard, Harry. Oh, no, wait, no. You're a wizard, Phil. Gasp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically he's like, but now that, like, the dentures have been unearthed and he knows that you have him, like, it's not going to take him long to figure out, like, he's probably been tracking you.
Right.
So he's probably, like, on his way.
Right.
We gotta stop.
He's got spies everywhere.
He's got spies everywhere. You've unleashed the darkness. When Grandma popped out of that grave, she sent out a wave of dark magic that any wizard with any ick to his name. Wait, what's it called?
Is Phil the shitty wizard?
I mean, we're all shitty wizards.
Sorry.
But he's
No,
just-
he's a good
I
wizard.
just had like a.
What?
Steve wanted to get. Come in, Steve. Join
Come
us.
on in.
Look, we have a surprise special
We have a
guest.
surprise
It's
guest.
Phil!
I don't know what day it is today.
Phil, you've arrived. Phil the Dark Wizard,
And
everybody.
he's here for the dentures!
Hi, everybody. It's me, Phil.
The funniest man in West Virginia.
Oh, don't set that precedent.
Don't worry, we won't. Because we're gonna stop you, Phil. But there are some options.
Okay.
So this is what the Would You Rather basically comes down
What
to.
have I got myself into?
Your own death.
Yeah, you're a live streamer now, motherfucker.
Ugh.
We are live on air
Okay.
with Phil the Worst Wizard.
Hello, I'm Phil,
And you've come for the dentures.
and I've come for all your dentures. Hand them
dentures.
up. I have a bag.
So the keeper, now much more urgently than I had planned, basically it comes down to two options. He's like, look, this coven's here to like protect the world of magic and watch over like anything getting out of line. So yeah, here's your two options. You can use the teeth to control, you can use the power of the dentures to control the ravens, and they will be able to bind Phil to basically spirit world limbo.
Okay.
And they can bind, because they have like magical, they can travel between worlds shit.
Okay.
Where he will shrivel and die.
But why would you want to do that to Phil?
Fuck you, Phil.
But all the grandma crows will die too, and their souls will be trapped there forever.
In limbo.
In limbo land. So you'd be dooming grandma and all her grandma friends. But that's not the end of the coven. It would now be your duty to like help the keeper man the graveyard and get new grandmas to enter the coven to make more crows to replace the ones that got.
Okay.
So you're in
recruiting
service,
grandmas.
you're screwing over some crows, but you defeat Phil. He will die.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like if you're a grandma who's joining in a coven,
You know what you're getting.
you know what you're getting into. Your soul may be doomed to eternity in limbo.
You also technically get to keep the dentures.
Oh.
With no risk of Phil coming for them. But
I
you
like
are
the sound
like,
of that.
but you are definitely
Hey, wait a
like
second.
screwing over a whole, like, you're damning them for all eternity.
Right.
Option number 2, destroy the teeth. This won't kill Phil, but it'll cripple him magically.
And my feelings.
And his
Why would you do
feelings.
that?
He would just be Phil now.
Right. He wouldn't be Phil the Dark Wizard.
He wouldn't be Phil the Dark Wizard.
Who
He would
collects
have. He
dentures?
would still retain his like knowledge of magic, but he wouldn't be all powerful.
I think the real question is Phil still gonna sue us if we destroy the dentures?
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a lot harder to
This-
he would have been like convicting you 100% if he had those dentures, but now that, or even just with his powers, because he still has regular wizard powers.
Right.
But now that he's just regular Phil, it's a lot more dicey to prove that you.
Yes. The dentures are destroyed. The evidence is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more evidence. He doesn't have a receipt.
He didn't keep a receipt for the magical dentures that he bought.
It's like he'll basically be able to like sue you for the amount of a pair of new dentures, which is like what, a hundy, a Chris hundy.
Have you ever been to a dentist? I would say at least a couple of G's.
How much are dentures?
I would say in the thousands.
Yeah.
Still, you're not doing jail time. A couple $1,000. It'll suck, but
So here's what I'm doing.
wait, I'm not done.
Oh, all right.
But so you won't kill Phil. You'll destroy the teeth, but you won't fuck over the grandmas. But you have to make a sacrifice, and this is where we get to play Magical Haggle mini game,
Ooh.
where you offer me something worthy of destroying these dentures. Is it a
Oh.
limb? Is it a cherished memory?
My teeth. My teeth for those teeth.
Really?
Yeah, but your teeth aren't magic.
No, but they're in active use by a person.
Those
So-
dentures were in active use when they were in your grandma.
Mm.
I'm just saying, like, you need to up the ante a little bit. Let's haggle. Let's haggle. Teeth and what? So, like, let's say teeth and tongue. Or teeth and you can't get dentures. You were, like, forbidden from getting dentures.
You just always gonna have gum mouth.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're just gonna eat jelly for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
so this is what I do. I give up the teeth and I can never get dentures.
Yeah.
I destroy the dentures, so now Phil has no powers.
Yeah.
And then I show up at Phil's door with a fucking crowbar. And
Hello? Who are you?
oh, he knows.
He knows.
He knows what he did.
By this point, Phil knows what he did. And then I take my frustration of being dragged into this situation out on his fucking kneecaps.
Yeah, take that,
Okay.
Phil.
Adam's story ends with a $5,000 fine and, let's say, 6 months in jail and a restraining order.
Right.
Post-service.
Right.
Which or you could pick the Doom the Crow ladies. You don't have to pick the Haggle.
I got nothing against... Listen, I want Phil to suffer. That's all I want.
I mean, Phil's gonna suffer in eternity limbo.
Yeah.
He's gonna
That's
suffer
like a
way
fate
more
worse.
than if
That's
you
like
break
a
his
fate worse than
kneecaps.
death.
Yeah, but I can make him suffer without dooming a bunch of people who had nothing to do with this.
Well, they're not people. They're crows.
They're souls
crow
of
grandmas.
people.
They're crow grandmas.
Yeah, but I really want to hurt Phil personally.
Listen,
You wanna
he's
do
gonna
it
be
yourself.
stuck in limbo with a bunch of grandmas for eternity.
It's not gonna be fun for
Make that
anyone
sound like it's a
involved.
bad thing.
Sounds like a party,
Oh.
couple of margaritas.
They're gonna make you go to mass every day.
They'll never approve of anything you do, and they'll make you eat bland food.
And they're crows, so they can't even like make cool pies or whatever. Whatever the good thing the grandmas do.
Every time you see a pie, just 20 more crows pop out of it and eat your
Just
eyeballs.
like in the old days.
Just like in the song.
Those crow pies.
No, I'm sacrificing my teeth and crippling Phil with the crowbar.
Okay,
I also think it's hilarious that you made Steve Phil. Because now I'm just like, get fucked, Steve.
I just entered this room and it's a lot of animosity out of nowhere. I was just having lunch.
You weren't ready for the Get Phucked Phil saga.
No!
We just kidnapped
It's
someone.
not a role you
What a
just
devil.
slip into.
I don't know what I would give up to destroy the dentures. I think I want to just.
Let's play.
I think I want to just send Phil to Grandma Limbo.
Oh, you're gonna fuck over your grandma? Oh, I mean, grandma wasn't very nice to you, was she? Fuck grandma. She gave you that disapproving look while she was standing on her own corpse.
She kept mixing me up with my sister. Like, fuck, we're completely different people.
This is what you get, grandma, for saying my name wrong. Eternity in hell. It's like, I was senile.
It's not hell, it's limbo.
You're worse than Old Testament God.
Yeah.
You said my name wrong, burn for eternity.
You got me mixed up with my sister, which is perfectly reasonable at your age, because we're basically two lumps of the same person.
You have like 5,000 grandchildren. How do you even remember who any of them are?
Yeah. I wouldn't remember any of their names at all. I'd be like, who are you again? Number 6?
Okay, let's see. What would I sacrifice to destroy these dentures?
I let you off easy with that teeth one, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Too late. You already agreed to it.
I know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be harsher on you.
What?
Just for the view, for the
Well,
likes, for
I'm
the-
going to sacrifice our friendship then.
Ooh.
It's not enough. Our friendship is not enough. Our friendship is tentative at best. You gotta give me something good.
Something that's actually worth something.
Something I want.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
I think you sacrificed it just now for nothing.
I'm also going to sacrifice my pride.
The
My dignity. God.
new Streamy Dreams was really fucked. You watch these people like stop being friends live. It's
We
weird.
do it every episode. I mean, we're gonna murder Steve after this, so
Like the real Steve, not even Phil.
gotta do it for those sound bites.
Yeah, we
Look
gotta.
at that.
We have a sound effects library, guys. Come
We
on.
have to hear your soul leave your body, Steve. Otherwise, it's not legitimate.
They'll know.
all
They'll know if
23
it's
grams.
authentic.
Makes a crisp noise.
It's like when you open a soda can.
Yeah. You know.
That's the sound your soul
I
makes.
killed a man just to hear him sizzle. Is that what that
I want mine to be the sound of a kazoo.
I have a kazoo in my bag. I could just bring it. You don't have to kill me, guys.
I think we do.
Yeah, I think we do. Well, okay, so apparently my friendship, pride, and dignity isn't enough for you. So...
Wait, I get your pride and dignity?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
But you were gonna send him to limbo anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want that. I just wanted to know
We
what
just
the
wanted to
stakes
hang
were.
up. She just wanted to say what was on the table.
Yeah.
It was a fun little mini game.
No.
Philip, you want to hang out for your life?
What's it worth to you?
If you can offer something better than what these two offered and combined, I will spare you.
What?
Wow.
Twist ending!
Wow, okay, Phil weighs in.
Well, so dentures, they cost a lot, so you must assume I have coverage. I
Well,
will.
also, like, Adam's basically vocabulary, teeth, and ability to have dentures. Also, Caitlin's pride and dignity and friendship.
What I want to say is, I will offer you my remaining dental coverage, which I use to get
You
my
are so
dentures.
dead. I'm
What?
not even gonna listen to your other options because
It's
that
really
was
good
so
coverage.
weak.
No?
No.
You're a stand-up. You don't have dental coverage.
a lawyer who had aspirations.
Oh, right.
So his dental coverage is
He's
actually probably pretty
Wait,
good.
I'm a lawyer also? Okay.
Well, no,
Do you
you were
want-
stripped of that when the crows sacrificed themselves. Oh, wait.
No, he was always a lawyer.
I can make you partner. It could be Phil and you and Sons.
You're offering this to, like, the denture demons. Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
like they want to consume something of value. They're not going to benefit from being your
Yeah.
partner at law.
You can't appeal to their greed. You have to appeal to the desire.
Yeah. It's like making a sacrifice to the gods.
Yeah, they want you to suffer. They don't want things.
They don't want material. What do I need dental care for? I am, like, dental care embodied.
Okay. Every time I go to the dentist, I will get x-rays. Because it's the most expensive
You're dead,
part.
you're just dead.
It's the most expensive
You're
part of
dead,
the visit.
you're
4
dead,
photos
you're dead
alone is
3
like
times over.
$200.
Threefold you shall die. One for every offer that you shamed me with.
Eternity in limbo with a bunch of crow grandmas is looking pretty good right
Yeah,
now.
I'm not minding that one bit.
It's too good for you, Phil.
How are we gonna put this on a poll on Discord?
I guess we won't.
Well, it's just because you have to haggle. You can't haggle in a poll.
All right.
Yes, give me your offerings in the
Yeah.
Discord, and I will give a smiley imp for yes and a frowny imp for no
Yeah,
deal.
Tell us what you would sacrifice to
Yeah.
destroy these dentures.
If I reject your sacrifice, you die instantly. So you gotta. It's one of those games where it's like you gotta make it. You don't want to make it too good where it's like, whoa, you didn't need to give me that much. But you gotta make it good enough that you don't hit that bar, because then you just die.
Right.
So
right.
so you're gonna have endings for us next week, or how's that gonna
No,
work?
this is the ending. This is the end.
Oh.
Phil's dead.
Oh.
Phil got fucked one way or another. But I guess the story ends differently depending on how, like, if you offer me something and I say no, then Phil wins in your storyline. So,
Because the dentures don't get destroyed and
because
he
the
gets
dentures don't
them
get
back.
your sacrifice gets rejected,
Right.
you die,
Right.
and Phil reigns supreme.
So everybody gets a different ending.
So everybody gets a different ending depending
Just like a
on
video
how
game.
good of a sacrifice you can make to me in the
Right.
Discord.
I do like how my ending is basically like, well, I mean, you stopped Phil and then brutalized him, but you're also in jail for brutalizing a guy.
You're in jail with no teeth.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real popular. I'll have so many friends.
I guess that's one way of looking at it.
There's always a silver lining.
They'll call you. Wait, what's a good like pun? Like old gummy Heinz.
You know that pun.
Oh, that good, great old
Old saying.
classic pun.
I said, help me.
No, we're not friends anymore.
Oh, well,
God damn
that's
it.
the end of Get Phucked Phil.
For you guys.
Do we have any jams in the Discord or the chat or anything?
Wait, did you guys not bring Would You Rathers?
No.
Steve, spin us a yarn.
Oh, hell. No.
I mean, Phil.
This is what happens when you accidentally come into the recording space to have lunch on
Yeah.
Thursday.
I thought Wednesday was Thursday. It's been a weird
it's
week.
wrong day of the week. Anyway, okay, now that we have a special guest, Steve, regale us with a Would You Rather.
Is this a Would You Rather or is this like an RPG adventure now? Because this seems like there's
It's
a
a bit of
lot
both.
more.
It's a bit of
A
both.
bit of both.
You can just hit us with a Would You Rather, though. That's the classic Shitty Wizard
Yeah.
format.
Yeah.
Ah.
Also,
The guest comes on and gives us a Would You Rather.
also in the chat, if you have Would You Rather questions, sound off now because we have time
For once.
for once. Okay.
We always have
Anyway,
fun.
continue.
For you guys.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Listeners.
Mad Libs in my mind. Would you rather have a pet ghoul?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on it. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
That's my line.
You stole Caitlin's
Okay,
bit.
would you rather the
Damn.
top of your head act like an umbrella whenever it rained, so it would just like pop open,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be gross.
Would your brain be exposed?
Yeah,
Ooh.
but only underneath. But if anyone turtle shell flipped you, they could squanch your brains.
Okay.
It's also like vulnerable to wind. So like you'd get a little twitchy whenever it rained because like your brain would get exposed and the wind would touch it in weird ways and you'd be like, nah.
Is my hair gonna get wet?
Yeah.
Well, what's even the point?
Well, the rest of you will stay dry.
But my hair's the most important part that I'm trying to keep dry.
Or like your phone.
What's the other part?
Anyway, go on.
Or would you rather have wheels for feet?
I want
Feet
feet
wheels. Definitely.
But they're still fleshy.
Oh.
Can I get like wheel-shaped socks to put on my
Yes!
fleshy foot wheels?
Yes, you can. They sell them on Amazon.
My grandma used to knit me wheel socks.
Before you doomed her for all eternity in a hellscape with Phil. Now you're not getting nothing.
She always made them too tight.
How do you fuck up socks? Your grandma's the worst. Aside from like the length, socks are basically a one size fits all.
That's just the
Especially if you
tube.
make, yeah, just make tube socks. Don't make the heel, and then you're good. Your grandma fucked up hard.
That's
She
why
just-
she's in.
yeah,
That's why she's in limbo for eternity with
It
Phil,
all-
the fucking lawyer wizard.
Your answer makes so much sense. Alright, did you finish your
Alright, yeah.
Oh, I tried to rewrite it entirely. All right, here's a new one. Here's a new yard to spin. Would you rather be Santa Claus for a week or Krampus for a day?
Krampus.
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 Fuck yes,
I'm gonna eat me
Krampus.
a hard-boiled baby.
I'm gonna. I get to
Is
beat.
that what he does?
I'm gonna get to beat kids with a stick and not get in trouble for it. Are you kidding me? Yes, Krampus.
Does Krampus also deliver presents?
He delivers shin beatings. by the
No,
sounds of
he
it.
just kidnaps.
He just
Little tots.
he punishes the bad kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, what's the advantage of being Santa for a whole week as opposed to just a day?
Well, like you'll do the Christmas day,
Yeah.
but then you get a week to like chill in the north and
Where
look
it's
for-
freezing.
You can eat a bunch of cookies.
Yeah, you load up on cookies.
I could do that now, motherfucker.
I
I don't need to be Santa to eat a bunch of cookies.
I could
I
just
guess
go
that's the
outside
only-
and eat some cookies. I'll be
Yeah.
cold.
We have free cookies upstairs. I
You
could
can
just go out
beat
there and be
kids
like, these are
outside
mine
right now
now.
if you want to too. No one's stopping that. Well, right away anyway.
That is not true. There are people who will definitely try to stop me.
After you start
Like
catching
almost
on.
instantly, they will try to stop me. Besides, like I don't know,
People don't frown on eating cookies as much as beating
there's not
kids,
even
I
that
guess.
many kids around this part of town. Whereas like the cookies are right there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
I don't even have to get up. I could just like slack someone upstairs, be like, "Could you bring me that bowl of cookies? We need it for the podcast."
It's very important.
Super important. We're gonna start a what's it called? Mukbang?
I don't know.
That
An
is it, yeah.
ASMR.
It's when you eat live on
Live
TV
stream.
Yeah.
and you have a full
We're gonna
audience.
make 2 sounds for the next 20 minutes.
Oh god, that is just the worst thing I've ever heard.
You'll be happy I haven't even touched my delightful rice chicken meal over here that's just smelling delightful.
It does. I'm so hungry. I'm thinking about my
My
fucking-
spaghetti!
my leftover spaghetti. Why do we do this at lunchtime?
Because we're technically in huge amounts of debt, so we couldn't do it during working hours.
That's true. Okay, I got a couple in the chat. A Waste of Corbin asks, would you rather get eaten by a bunch of piranhas or swallowed by a whale?
Oh, wait.
Is there a chance
Wait.
to escape the whale? Do we know the science on that?
This isn't Pinocchio, if
Well,
you're wondering.
No, I mean real life whale.
I'm assuming they have at least a comparable amount of like stomach acid to what we do that can break
Probably,
down fish.
Yeah.
So you're probably like basically burning alive.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're not getting crunched, but you're getting
Right.
acid wash.
I mean-
Although you'd probably drown first. You would like drown
Yeah.
inside the whale's
Yeah.
belly as you burn.
Well, I would assume that you're like wearing scuba gear or something, because what the fuck are you doing in the ocean getting eaten by a whale in the first place? Get out of the ocean! God! What do you don't belong there!
The
You-
Australian
I was
would
having
know.
a midlife crisis. I wanted to learn a new skill and decided that ocean diving was it.
See, there's a part of me that just thinks the whale because you have a higher chance of survival. But could I really dig my way out of a fucking whale stomach with my keys? Just
Like
stab
whales
it
are
away.
thick. Whales are
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah.
And like the whole blowhole cartoon thing isn't real either, right? Like they'll just
No,
fly.
that's their nose, not their like stomach valve.
There's got to be a path, right?
I mean,
Like,
if you
to the
crawl back
nasal-
up, if you crawl back up their throat,
Yeah.
But then you might as well just try to get out their mouth.
Yeah.
Well, there's options at least.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easier to, like, pop out of a whale's mouth while it takes a little munch motion than it is to, like, squeeze your way out of its nose.
Yeah,
Just like wriggle your way through the system.
Yeah.
Also, like, being eaten by a bunch of piranhas just sounds like it would take a really long time.
I imagine you'd bleed out. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably how you're gonna die.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be excruciating. Like, that's the other thing. If you got eaten by a whale, I would imagine you'd either be quickly crushed or suffocated, which both sound bad.
But at least they sound fast.
Yeah, it's
Faster.
one and done.
I don't know, you can be slowly crushed and you can slowly drown.
And melt.
Or
Like,
suffocate.
drowning doesn't take that long. Once you start aspirating water, it's like a minute most until you shut down.
I don't think so.
I think it's
I
pretty
mean,
quick.
it's like a couple minutes tops, but
Piranhas scare me. Like, I've seen piranhas eat some shit, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Are they starting from the feet up or
Oh,
the head
God.
down?
I would imagine
I
you
imagine
just,
it's just all over.
yeah,
Oh,
you just
okay.
fall in, and then they go buck wild on your ass.
Yeah, and you know what? It would be cool if, like, one day that whale gets beached and then they have to, like, blow it up and then they find a human corpse inside. That'd be, like, what kind of crazy murder mystery would that
You and
start?
like 50 kilograms of plastic.
You're the lady in the whale! Yeah, you and, like, 16 bottles of Sprite. They're like, did the Sprite kill her or did the whale? Wouldn't that be ironic? Because you get swallowed by a whale, but you choke on a piece of garbage. That's how you
Plastic
die.
bag.
Just one of those, like, soda can things just caught
Yeah,
around your neck,
you
and
were
you're
like,
like...
you were almost going to escape, and then a plastic bag came and wrapped around your face. God damn it.
It's a way cooler story than just, like, idiot tourist fell in the water and got eaten by piranhas.
Yeah.
Sucks to be.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why you saying idiot tourist fell in, and it made me think of that woman that fell in the panther thing recently. Did you hear about that?
Oh, the panther pen?
Yeah, where she tried to take a selfie and she fucking fell in and
Whoa.
got mauled.
Classic.
And she was like, I don't blame the panther, but, and it's like, you said but, which means you're not taking responsibility for being a fuckwit.
Yeah, no, I don't blame the panther at all. Also, like, the amount of people who die from, like, trying to take selfies and, like, falling off a cliff or falling into whatever is too high. It's too high, and you're embarrassing the human race.
I mean, everybody just thinks it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
My favorite one is there was a video I think like last year of some girls in, I guess they were in like Seattle or something like that, and they were trying to take pictures with like sea lions, and one of them came up and just like grabbed this chick and like pulled her off the
I thought
dog.
it was a little
I
girl.
saw that.
Oh, was it a little girl?
Yeah, and then the
Anyway.
dad or some guy just immediately like jumped in and was like. To be fair, she was like 10, so
The
like you
little-
get a pass.
Her parents don't, because there were
No, her
signs
parents
saying,
don't.
there were signs at that pier saying, do not go near the sea lions.
Yeah.
Because they are not cute sea dogs.
No, they aren't. No, they're not. They're mean.
Yeah, they're fucking mean as shit.
One of my favorite genres is like nature, like payback.
Yeah.
Like somebody gets mauled by a lion, you're like, fuck yes! Maul
Yeah.
that motherfucker!
We're still in the food chain. Yeah.
That's what you get.
Didn't escape.
Everybody thinks they're Steve Irwin until they get bit in the fucking face.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
Steve Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot that's how he died.
Oh, rest in peace, Steve. Or don't. It's your choice.
Live your best on life.
Afterlife?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Unlife.
I like unlife. It's like you're getting unborn. You're just like, take me back, and you shrivel up into a
Take
little
me
fetus.
back.
Take me back, universe.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I went on a snorkeling trip up in North Queensland where he died, and we were on the boat, and we were driving past this island, and they were like, that was the island that Steve Owen died on. Everyone's like,
Just
They just
everybody
do a
does
gentle
that.
golf clap.
interesting. Taking photos.
That's fucked up. Clap, clap.
Yeah, what is the, like, what's the cutoff? When does it become, like, okay to be like, ooh, that's where they died?
Well, I
'Cause
mean, it
there's-
was about a year after he died, so it wasn't that far.
I've heard of tours in certain cities in the States where they'll take you around and show you where famous murders happened.
Yeah.
Or you know, mob shootouts and shit like that.
Yeah, so how long before we get one of those for, like, modern day people?
I don't know, man.
Does it have to be, like, the people who witnessed it have
How
to
long?
have died?
How long has Steve Irwin been dead for?
A while.
He's the guy who's like,
Excuse me?
crikey!
Oh, his name is Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
You don't know who Steve Irwin
You
is?
just
I know
offended.
who the alligator hunter is.
You can't say I don't know who Steve Irwin is in front of an Australian person.
This is why we're not friends anymore.
That's okay.
Brought together by spaghetti torn apart by Steve Irwin.
And dark magic.
So say the noodle that binds us is broken.
I like that.
I only knew him by his title and by his face. He's one of those few celebrities that I know his face. I never knew his name.
It's such a, like, it rolls off the tongue though.
I thought Steve Irwin was someone else.
And he's not an alligator hunter. God.
What's he called?
The crocodile hunter.
Oh, come on, you gotta give me a pass on that
giving
one.
you a pass.
Come on! They're basically the same thing.
Okay, let's do one more. Nicholas Schnitzel asks, would you rather...
Nick Schnitt?
That's good.
Nick Schnitt.
That's a good name.
Would you rather walk through the desert or through the Arctic without equipment?
When you say without equipment, do you at least get, like, weather appropriate wear?
I'm gonna
Do
say...
I get boots and a fur coat?
You get boots and a fur coat, but that's it. And in the desert, you get sandals.
And, like,
I don't know what you need
You
to
know.
trust
maybe
me.
a hat. Maybe a nice
A naked
hat.
person in sandals in the desert.
Some, like, cotton long shirt.
You get sandals and a hat. That's it. You gotta make your way.
You all remember Star Trek 4, right?
Wait, just sandals and a hat. I don't get, like...
And your regular clothes.
Okay.
I'm taken back to Aurora Pente when they like throw you in the snow if you don't be a nice prisoner or something like that. That was, remember in Star Trek? It was one of the movies.
Was it?
There was a snow place and they're like, Kirk, you're in jail now.
Oh, right. And the big bug thing came and then Spock saved him?
Maybe. But I'm just thinking, is that what the situation is? Are we meant to die in these locations, or is this like go as far as you can?
So I'm trying to figure out which environment would be more survivable, and I'm quickly coming to the conclusion that I'm not equipped to survive either.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least in the Arctic, you'd have water.
well, yeah, and you could argue that as people who've been tempered by Canadian winters, we might be able to handle the cold a little bit better.
Then the desert, yeah, probably.
But there's not a lot of resources in either.
I would also want to know which desert, because there's a big difference between like the Sahara Desert and the Nevada Desert.
Yeah.
The
oh
Sahara
yeah, Nevada desert's nothing.
Yeah, the Sahara Desert is completely dead, whereas the Nevada Desert like shit lives there. Like you can
Yeah.
catch a scorpion and eat it or whatever.
Yeah, you could punt a coyote and eat its belly.
Yeah, like you could get liquid from a snake.
Cactus.
I just
They're like a hose, right?
You know, just wring out a cactus and a snake.
Nature's hose.
Just hose.
The
the
snake.
original garden hose.
So Nick, you need to clarify which desert.
How big is this hat that I get?
Well, but the Arctic, the Antarctic, is pretty extreme, so I would imagine it's a more extreme desert.
yeah, I'm
He didn't
thinking
say
it's
the
like
Antarctic. He said the Arctic.
Oh,
So
I just assumed.
the top
well, still
one.
the Arctic is
Yeah.
like I think we're going like Savannah desert.
Yeah, I
At,
think,
at its core, you're asking, would you rather hot or cold?
Yeah.
So what would you rather, Adam?
Would you rather?
Hot or cold?
Would you rather die of hot or die of cold?
at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna go with the cold, with the Arctic, because as a Canadian dude, I'm a little more used to the cold than I am the fucking blistering heat, and there's less spiders by a huge margin in the Arctic.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're polar bears.
That's
though.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of polar bears, but not in the same way.
I'm definitely afraid. Like a death by polar bear would be really awful.
It would be awful, but
Yeah.
also like so epic.
But no one would be around to witness
Another
it.
story to tell after your whale survival story. Just
Nobody's
full of
gonna
these
find your
tales.
corpse. Nobody.
I escaped from a whale and ended up in the Arctic, and I got killed by a polar bear. How did you die?
What a day.
And it wasn't even one of the like fat happy polar bears. It was one of the really skinny sad looking
That are
ones.
desperate.
And
Yeah.
they still got you.
Yeah, he
You're
still
like,
got
It's like
you.
global warming has ruined my habitat.
Yeah, that's the real fucked up thing. That's the real tragedy. Is you pick the Arctic and it's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And
No.
also, it's just an ocean because all the sea ice
Yeah.
melted.
Humanity's hubris. No.
I'm just in a warm lake.
Would you rather sand
is
or
nice.
swim? That's kind of what it
Yeah.
is now.
Okay, so Nick Schnitz clarified it's the Sahara Desert and the North Pole.
Okay.
Okay.
So definitely North Pole.
Yeah, definitely.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Sahara Desert actually gets really cold at night.
Yes,
It does, yeah.
does.
It gets
Oh, yeah, 'cause
really
it's-
hot.
So you're getting
It
both.
It doesn't retain heat. It's just like, Nick.
And then
Yeah.
you don't have a jacket.
Also,
You just have a hat.
yeah, you just
Where
have a
you
hat and
now?
sandals.
Where you now?
You're just digging yourself into the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, did you know that only 10% of the Sahara Desert is actually sand? The rest of it is just, I've actually been there and I've seen it. It's just this completely endless wasteland of, like, black rocks. It looks like
Oh.
Mars.
Cool.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And the sand, like, moves around because it gets blown by the wind. But, like, most of it is not sand.
That's really cool.
So
I wish I knew that.
you've already done one of these Would You Rathers. You've lived half of this question.
I mean, I didn't walk across the Sahara Desert. I kind of, like, went to
Oh,
the
so
edge
you
of it and
have
was like, no, cool.
So you have to make it to the other side. Well, what are we
Yeah.
talking about square footage wise? Which one's a longer walk?
You're finding the Northwest Passage on foot, or you're crossing the Sahara Desert on foot.
God.
Also, like, I just
Like,
like
I'm
to say-
gonna die either way, let's
Yeah,
face
yeah.
it.
I just want to say that, like, dying from cold sounds like it's way more fun than dying from like heat exhaustion.
Blistering heat.
Because when
Although
you
dehydration is your biggest.
yeah,
Mm.
that's true. But also, like, when there's all these stories about, like, when people get really cold, they kind of go a bit wacky and they, like, take all their clothes
Yeah,
off
they get
and
really
stuff.
hot. Like,
Yeah,
right before
yeah.
they die, and then they take off all their clothes.
So that's how I want to go. I want to go
Yeah.
naked in the snow, as nature intended.
Well, you live in Canada now, so you can make that happen if you really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Step outside. It's April. Go for it. It's just
I'll just find that, like, one bit of unmelted snow on the side of
at
the
the
road.
curb, and you're like, I'm dying.
Yeah, I don't have the best cold resistance, but yeah, if I'm gonna die, like Sahara Desert's gonna fuck me up. I
Yeah,
can't. I'm gonna
yeah.
die either way, so I might as well have fun.
I will say that there's a way higher chance that you are going to get rescued in the Sahara Desert than in the North Pole.
But you have to cross it. That's like the condition.
Yeah.
So
And,
like
like,
whether there's other people there or not.
Yeah. People, like, cross the Sahara Desert all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could actually do it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, like, they have supplies. But
Just join a caravan.
you could just, like,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
roll up with to, like, a camel caravan.
If
or
I could
whatever.
kill one camel and take its hump to
and gain
drink,
its power.
to drink,
It's
then
bad.
I might make it.
I love the idea of you naked except for sandals and a hat trying to punch a camel to death.
That's basically my Dungeons and Dragons character. She
Also,
boots and a magical hat would just kill.
You'd be way better off with a live camel than a dead
Yeah.
camel.
Yeah, your salvation is walking towards you. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill it.
Well, I was
Who knows
assuming
where
this
it's
camel was,
going?
I was assuming this camel was like feral. It's like it's not
Right.
gonna obey me.
Camels are fairly docile, from what I understand.
But I mean, it's not gonna help me cross. It's not gonna cross the desert with me. I have
You
I
can
have
just
a destination. I gotta get
Follow
going.
it.
Yeah,
You
just
can
use
just
it as
follow
But
shade.
it's not gonna cross the desert. It's just gonna hang out there.
It needs water eventually.
Yeah, what the
too.
fuck?
I gotta
It's
go.
gonna bring you to supplies.
But I'll bring it to the. I'll follow it to the supplies. I'll follow it to the oasis. Then I'll kill it,
Then
steal its hump, and
punch it
finish
to
my
death.
trip.
Just
I
punch
can't be walking around in circles with this camel. I gotta go. I'm on a deadline. Every extra day I spend in this desert is one more day that I might die.
it. Can you punch a camel to death? YN.
I would strangle it. Just choke its dumb neck.
With its giant, you just climb onto its back and then wrap yourself
Hug it.
around it.
I'd take my sandals and like tie them around it.
I'm dying.
I have nothing to add to any of this.
Yeah.
I'm dying in the snow.
This is quality content.
Yeah. Just letting Laurel go down this madness path.
gonna kill a camel,
Who's
eat its
with
hump.
me? No, I'm gonna keep its hump is gonna be my water bag.
How do you think a hump and a camel works? It's not a bowl full of water that
I
you
just
can just
chop
sip
it off
from.
at the base, turn it upside down, and just carry it on my head like a water jug.
It's just a jug. A camel jug just on your head.
You're just gonna shove a straw in it.
Yeah, like a coconut.
I'm assuming it's like
Camels are like the coconuts of the desert.
Oh my
Put a
god.
straw through that hump.
Oh boy.
Are they like stored in like how does the water actually get stored? I'm assuming it's not like a compartment.
I don't know.
It's not like a compartment. Woo!
I don't know how camels work. Someone's got to tell me.
Okay, I'm gonna Google it.
Like it's not like an extra belly in those humps, is it?
How does a camel's hump work?
Yeah.
That's a Google auto
It
corrected that.
autofilled it, yeah.
A camel's hump does not hold water
Uh-oh.
At all?
at all. It actually stores fat.
You piece of shit.
The camel uses it. You lied to me.
Okay, now here's what I'm doing. I'm skinning that camel. I'm gonna fill its hide with the water from the oasis. I'll take that with me.
What are you doing this with? How do you skin this camel?
With its own bone. I break one of its bones so
God,
that it's
you
got a
were
sharp
just
edge.
torturing this poor camel. Like, this is brutal.
It's me or the camel. I'm sorry, but I have no love for this camel. I gotta survive.
That poor animal.
Should have known what it was getting into when it came near me. I'm a human. It should know better.
Yeah. I like how the lesson that we're learning from this is don't approach Laurel under any circumstances.
It's not a bad
She
lesson
will
learned.
break your leg and use your own bones
It
to
doesn't-
skin you.
It doesn't even matter where she is. It's like you approach Laurel just when she's happening to be hungry for a burrito and she murders you and turns you into a burrito.
You could have just borrowed one. Yeah, well.
I mean, I'll give you some credit. At least you're adapting to the harsh
You
environment
gotta do what you
of
gotta
the
do.
Sahara
Gotta survive.
Desert.
And at night, I sleep in my hide.
Yeah, like
Sleep inside
Now
the
I've got a
camel.
blanket. Look, I've got this down. I'm gonna make it. My sandals are full of so much sand, though. Why do they even wear sandals? What's the point? My feet are sunburnt to shit.
yeah, they're all peeling, but you've got like the worst sandal tan.
Ugh.
Oh, forget that. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm
Arctic.
Scottish as fuck. Like I'm just a tomato person now.
You immediately have skin cancer.
Oh, on contact. I put one foot in the desert and it's just like beep, 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 beep. Full blown skin cancer. Do we got time for one more? Or?
Like a real quick one. Let me see
All right.
if there are any more.
Let's see if we can actually do a speed round successfully this time.
Just like a yes, no.
It's a yes,
no discussion.
no discussion. It's just this one or that one.
Okay, would you rather be vegan? Oh, I should say. Herbo Bob 1022 asks, would you rather be vegan or only eat every other day?
Second one.
Yeah, I would rather eat every other day.
Yeah, me
Yeah, that
too.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
A nugs every other day, a box of nugs. You rest on it for a day.
Look,
Like a
I like
snake.
chocolate. End of story.
Yeah.
I mean, there's vegan chocolate, but it's not.
No, I mean,
You're never going to be able to eat a camel carcass. If
Yeah, you never.
I'll never survive the hard desert if I'm a vegan.
no, there's plenty of good vegan food, but I'm just
What, in the desert? Nah.
no, just in general. Like,
Yeah, there is.
There's lots of good vegan food, but I like
Actually-
cheese.
I buy vegan food all the time just because it's tasty, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to limit myself.
Yeah.
I gotta eat that camel. I mean, I'd probably take a couple lumps of fat with me, just for like sustenance.
Right. You're going to like jerk the camel meat and take
Okay,
it with you.
thank you.
Then
Thank you
continue
for
that sentence.
finishing that sentence. You're gonna jerkyify the camel
Yeah,
meat.
thank you.
It's just called jerking. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna
To
jerk.
the desert.
I'm gonna jerk the camel to survive. This could mean so many things.
Caitlin, you
goddamn desert.
Okay, I got a question. If you rub animal fat on your
okay.
burnt feet,
All right.
is that going to make it worse or better?
You can't.
It is gonna make it delicious.
Yeah, all of a sudden your feet smell like bacon as they sizzle in the sun. People in the Discord, will rubbing animal fat on your burnt feet make it worse or better? I need to know. Because I got a trip coming up.
We're going to the desert.
Oh my god.
Phil, you didn't answer the question.
Oh, hell. Desert sounds pretty good right about now. I don't know why.
Oh, really? You're
You
gonna go with desert?
You gave me so many more options. So far, all we got is polar bear is gonna get you, and he's gonna be sad.
And you were gonna be like naked and afraid in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Camel versus polar bear. Polar bear wins. What am I even saying? Like, camel's not even gonna fight. He's just gonna be like, he's depressed. He's like, whatever, just end it.
He got kicked out of his pack. That's why he's by himself.
Oh.
Do they travel in packs? Are they like horses?
Yeah.
That seems weird, because I can't.
Why?
Because you think of a pack of horses, and they're like running with the hair in the wind, and they're just like, just fucking fuck some people up. They're like a gang. And then you see camels in a pack, and it's just like a bunch
They're
of
so
sheep
goofy, yeah.
hanging around,
Just
being
flopping
like,
around,
"Rah."
spitting everywhere.
They have those like goofy spat on my knees. foot. Like, have you ever seen a camel's knees?
They're weird.
Weird.
Back catcher knees.
Well.
Anyway, on that note,
Goodbye.
this concludes another episode of Streamy Dreams with the Shitty Wizards.
Don't forget to make your offering at the door, and I'll see you in hell.
See you in hell, bitches.
Oh my god.
Whiz bitches. We should have called them whiz bitches.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wizards.
Anyway, we're out.
Are we offline?
Shitty Wizard!